everybody, Ziv Simon here. I'm the creator of SurgicalMaster. I'm here in Sydney, Australia as part of progressive orthodontic course. And I'm here with Dr. Supa, who is one of the doctors practicing here in Sydney. We're going to talk about a case that presented to his office, has to do with short clinical crowns. And so far it's been a really nice course.
Yep.
You guys are great dentists and fun to work with. We spent 2 days talking about aesthetic crown lengthening and soft tissue grafting and some of the soft tissue grafting around implants and tissue management. And all in all, a really great experience. So you had a case that of a patient that had short clinical crowns.
Yep.
And what was really the story with the case?
Her main complaint was that actually the cant of her teeth, but that's the issues that we're looking at fixing orthodontically. But part of the reason also is that she didn't like her short tooth.
Okay.
Now, when I took the photos and I had a look, is that what's interesting about this case is that I can see the outline of the crown underneath the gingiva quite well. So I thought it would be an interesting case to actually do.
Yeah, it was really interesting because this is your patient. She's obviously has short teeth, and that's one of her main complaints. And if you look very in close-up, you see that the teeth proportions are not proper. The teeth are to some extent wider than they're long. She also has gingival pigmentation. That's part of her genetics. But you can see the outline of the actual clinical crown under the gingiva, and that's why it's so unique in my opinion. That I've never seen this in this way before. So we're going to talk a little bit about the option of crown lengthening and how we do some simulation. So pigmentation, probably delayed eruption, abnormal eruption patterns. There was no retraction of the soft tissue. That's why her teeth are short. And just abnormal teeth proportions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this image and I'm going to import it into Photoshop Elements. And I have a few videos on how to make this simulation in a very simple way, inexpensive way. So we have the photo of this patient in Photoshop Elements. Now we'll choose a filter option called Liquify. So what this is doing, it's taking the image, turning the pixels into gel. And now we have this tool where we can start mobilizing tissue. Now you can choose different brush sizes. We're going to go a little bit bigger. And we can start mobilizing the tissue. So it's going to look much better. We'll do it freehand. We'll start with the central incisors. You see that I'm keeping the zenith in this area, and I'll compare the other central, make it somewhat symmetrical. Okay, what do you think? Starting to look a little bit better.
And now you really just go by the tooth proportion, is that right? Like the good ideal tooth proportion?
This is freehand, so I go just by tooth proportions, but I don't have real measurements here. So the only thing I can go by is just making it longer. What looks proportioned in my eyes. So that's number one. You can also zoom in. She has a couple of chips. So all you need to do is make the brush size a little bit smaller. Even smaller than that. And you can correct that as well to some extent, make it a little bit bigger. But that's really not the not our focus right now, but you can do this in the same process. What is a little bit tricky in her situation, you will crown lengthen also the lateral incisors and the canines. Okay, to some extent. Okay, you see what is happening here? Okay, and it's for you more to give her an idea. Personally, what I would do, I would create a wax up or do some type of mock-up in her mouth. And see that what I'm showing you here really makes sense clinically in her mouth, because we're working on only one dimension right now. Okay, and same with the canine. So you have an idea how this is going to look like. Okay, the before and after. So it'll give you a general idea. You can even show this to the patient and see if she likes it or not. I think she's going to like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the case. So once you do your simulation, you can either put both images side by side, or you can superimpose them and to see what it'll look like. And of course, do it in the context of the face, because it's going to change the patient's full face. And definitely get the approval of the patient. Now, I think her teeth are very square as well, so if you round them off a little bit, and I did this before, I think it's going to look better. Okay, but you're the dentist. I'm just a periodontist. Okay. So clinically speaking, if you're planning an aesthetic crown lengthening, the first step is to decide where you'd like the gingival margin to be, and what would be the ideal teeth proportions, and make your first incision. You excise the soft tissue, and this is just a suggested outline. You have the luxury of seeing the actual tooth from underneath. So you can basically follow this outline, but don't follow it on the lateral incisor here, because if you do, you'll get a tooth that is actually a little bit too big. So once you remove the soft tissue, you'll do some bone sounding. You'll use a probe. You'll try to determine where the osseous crest is. And if it's too close, if it's less than 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters from the new gingival margin, you'll have to reflect a full thickness flap on the buccal, adjust the bone level, adjust the vertical height of it, and if you need to do some osteoplasty. And that's pretty much to get you started. That's it. So good luck with the procedure. Keep me posted. Send us some photos.
Definitely will do.
And I look forward to seeing you again in Sydney.
Okay?
Thank you.
Cheers.
Good luck. Cheers.
Bye-bye.